Today we're going to read another chapter out of the Stories Julian Tells by Anne Cameron. This one is called My Very Strange Teeth. My mother and Huey were listening. My father and I were talking. Well, my father said, if you wait long enough, it will fall out. He was talking about my tooth, my right bottom front tooth. How long do I have to wait? I asked. Because I had two right bottom front teeth, one firm little new one pushing in and one wiggly old one. I can't say, my father said. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe less. I don't want to wait, I said. I want one tooth there, and I don't want to wait 2 months. All right, said my father. I'll take care of it. He jumped out of his chair and ran out the door to the garage. He was back in a minute carrying something. A pair of pliers. Your tooth is a little loose already, my father said. So I'll just put the pliers in your mouth for a second, twist, and the tooth will come out. You won't feel a thing. I won't feel a thing? I looked at the pliers. Huge black-handled pliers with a long pointed tip. I thought I would feel a thing. I thought it would hurt. Shall I? Said my dad. He raised the pliers toward my mouth. No, I said, not that way. Don't you know any other way to take out a tooth? Well, he answered, when I was a boy, the main way was with a pair of pliers. But there was another way. Just you wait. He jumped up again and ran to the closet. When he came back, he had a spool of black thread. Thread didn't look as painful as pliers. This is a simple way, my father said. Just let me tie this thread around your old tooth. All right, I said. Very carefully, my father tied the end of the thread around my own tooth. That didn't hurt. Now, my father said, stand here by the door. I stood by the kitchen door, and my father tied the other end of the thread to the doorknob. Now what? I said. Now, my father said, you just close your eyes. What are you going to do? I asked. I wasn't going to close my eyes when I didn't know what was happening. This is a good method from the old days, my father said. You close your eyes, then very suddenly I will shove the kitchen door shut. Snap! The thread pulls the tooth right out. I looked at the kitchen door. It was a lot bigger than I was and about 20 million times bigger than my tooth. Won't it hurt? I was really afraid I might lose my whole head with the tooth. Oh, just a little, my father said. Just for a second. No thanks, I said. Please take this thread off my tooth. All right then. My father shrugged his shoulders and took the string off my tooth. Don't you know any other way? There is one other way, my father said. Go into the bathroom, stand over the sink, and just keep pushing the tooth with your finger till it comes out. Will that hurt? You can stop pushing when it hurts, my father said. Of course, it takes longer. I would be very glad to do it with either the pliers or the doorknob. No thanks, I said. I started pushing on my tooth with my finger. Why can't I push it out here? I asked. Why do I have to go over the sink? When you get the tooth out, my father said, it'll bleed. That's why you take the tooth out over the sink. So you have cold water to rinse your mouth and stop the bleeding. How much bleeding? Some. Enough so you should use the sink. I decided right then that my old tooth could stay in my mouth right beside the new one as long as it wanted. 2 months, 2 years, anytime. I've changed my mind, I said. That tooth can stay, even if it is stupid to have 2 teeth where one should be. It's not stupid, my mother said. Just unusual. You have very special teeth. I bet prehistoric cavemen would have liked your teeth. Why? They ate a lot of raw meat, my mother said. It must have been very hard for a cave boy to eat raw meat with teeth missing. But you have 2 teeth in the space of 1. You could have eaten mastodon meat or saber-toothed tiger meat or anything the hunters brought home. A cave boy with 2 teeth in place of 1. I wish I had a time machine to go back to the very old days before pliers and before doorknobs, back to the caves. I curled my lower lip under. You look like a cave boy, my mother said. You should show the kids at school your teeth, Huey said. Maybe I will, I said. I went to my room and made a sign for myself. It read, "See Cave Boy Teeth, 1 cent." I wore the sign at recess the next day. My friends came around. What does that mean? They asked. I grunted and held up a penny. I couldn't explain. If I talked, they'd see my mouth for free. After a while, one girl gave me a penny and I showed her my special cave boy teeth. Some of the other kids had missing teeth, but nobody had 2 teeth in 1 space like mine. I ran all the way home after school to tell my mother what happened. I said, tomorrow I'll show more kids. I picked up an apple that lay on the kitchen table and took a big bite. Ow, I said, because I could feel my old tooth twist in my mouth. In a minute, without too much blood, it was lying in my hand. Ow, I said again, not because it hurt, but because right then was the end of my special mastodon-eating, double-biting cave boy teeth. The end.